Join us for a review of the new Porsche 911 Targa. Let's go! The new 911 generation in general for all the models is 4.5 centimeters or about 2 inches wider, so even wider stance on the road. Yeah, it's not a small sports car anymore, more a Grand GT definitely. So the original 911 more resonates now meanwhile to the 718 model. Here you can see here this is the Targa 4S. You can see the wide air intakes, also horizontal stress. Then LED is standard, and an option, you can see them here, the Matrix LED light, also for more elaborated high beam function. 4.52 meters, 14'8" or 178 inches is the length now of the 911 generation, and from which side I will enter the stage? Yes, today from the front. Here, of course, the Targa with the signature bar right here, silver contrast. I think that really works well to the blue exterior color. And then these typical 911 very strong shoulders. And I can also open it with the key. There's a separate button here on the key. So here we go, and always looks very spectacular. This soft top then goes back. Parts of the bar move up, move down again, and there it goes back with the glass top. So this is actually 19 seconds, whereas the normal convertible would be 12 seconds. So of course the convertible is more, the more practical solution, has also a little bit less wind noises, but the extra price, if you compare it to the coupe, both for convertible and for the Targa, at least in Germany, 14,000 euros extra. So it's not a question of price, more of styling and of course of concept. And of course, if you're even cooler, then you put down the windows, and that gives once more a different look, especially from the side again. In the rear, the new 911 generation also has some retro styling elements here, very interesting. And this light strip here, it goes all the way over the vehicle. So from the rear, I think, actually, yeah, this is actually really cool in this new generation. I like that. The Targa, of course, also in the rear perspective with this huge glass top. Also, again, very impressive, and it looks the same no matter if it's open or closed then in the middle. In the lower part you have the outside exhaust tips, so yeah, hard case for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police, because when you look on the inside, there is something on the inside then with 2 gaps, and then behind this then is the real exhaust. So yeah, the air goes through there, but still, I think a case of fake exhaust, definitely. For the normal 911, there's this service opening which only folds up this part here, this very small part. But here, the service opening looks a little bit different than for the Targa. So here we go. The whole glass top lifts up, and then you can see the only thing you can actually see from the engine, if you don't put it to the workshop, here the 3-liter 6-cylinder turbocharged, either with 385 horsepower, this flat engine in the base Targa, or here the S model 450 horsepower, and the acceleration figures are 3.8 seconds or 3.6 seconds for the faster model. That's 0.1 seconds slower if you compare it to the coupe model. People buy the Targa to feel safer or because they think it's better as for the wind turbulences, but usually the pure convertible is better as for the wind flow. But Porsche wants to improve this now with a new, let's say, interior spoiler or a new wind deflector. You can see it right here. So this is directing the wind flow a little bit higher over the cabin, and it's a manual control, so for even higher speeds you can press it down like this, Here we go. And then the wind flow goes even a little bit higher than at higher speeds. And I'm really looking forward to test that while driving, if this is really a crucial change then. There we go. Typical low seating 911 position, and indeed it doesn't feel like a small agile sports car, more again like a Grand GT. You really feel how big the 911 has become, and here at the moment with the top open, but I can soon also close it. First of all, the seating position. I mean, the 911 was never a comfort king, so to say. If you want more comfort than Porsche, that's why so many people are buying the Porsche SUVs. Meanwhile, Porsche SUVs sell way more than the sports cars do, exactly for that reason. But of course, we'll keep you also updated for that with the driving review. At least you can adjust them here in an electric way, up and down, of course, front, back. Then here, lumbar support, and also the front bolstering here to put it longer than the side bolstering in the lower part. And here you can adjust it very well, but of course it won't change the basic driving position. So steering wheel, also electric control, up and down and in and out. Interior overview, again with this horizontal stress, and there you definitely can see some resemblance also from this traditional 911 layout. So that's, I think, pretty cool that they take some citations. And then soon also more details here to this instrument setup. The problem is when I sit here, from here you can see there, behind the steering. But from my view, this here and this is blocked by the steering wheel. That's also some kind of a design flaw. But I think it's really cool that they kept the analog RPM meter right there. Now details to the infotainment screen. And I mean, my microphone is really catching my voice only, but you can maybe hear that I have turned on the engine, because when you use this screen here, it drains so much energy from the battery that after a while, or very shortly, it shuts down and then you have to turn on the engine. That's definitely a flaw of this car. So here's the GPS map. This works very well. This screen, by the way, when it's hot, it really gets hot. I almost don't want to touch it. Then phone connection with Apple CarPlay in this case here. Also wireless is possible. Here's the integration. Yeah, doesn't go wider. That's with the map then. Now the instruments, again, middle part analog, but just a digital speed. Right side here, you can pick the different driving modes or have the visualization for the different driving modes when you turn them at the steering wheel. And there's also here all-wheel drive distribution. We can talk about that when we drive the car. You will see rear-wheel bias then, and when we really hammer the throttle, then it more goes equal to get more power to the ground. And here the map integration is of course very helpful then when you have a GPS route set. So, and then on the left side you can have assistance system information, for example. There's again another speedometer. So not too much to change right here. It's more than about the right side. Closing the top here works with the middle console, and yeah, this should work with the roof above us. So you can see it once more in the live process here. Always spectacular to show off in front of the restaurant or something. And then in the front here with the headroom with 1.86 or 6'1", this is no problem. Plenty of headroom left. Welcome to Thomas's Driving Lounge with the Porsche 911 Targa. And what is this car for? It has a lot of power, yes, definitely. We'll also show you an acceleration, but this car is more for pleasure, enjoyment in a sporty way, yes, but of course open top. And it's a car where you say, like, I'm a gentleman. I don't need to exceed the speed just to feel cool. And however, we can still use the sports mode to have a little bit more exhaust note, for example. That's really cool. And of course, instantaneous acceleration always when you want it, even if you don't need it, so to say. And of course, it's a cool experience here. What's a little bit strange is then when we opened it, the Targa roof, there was still like a gap here in the window, and then usually you would just hold a button, for example, also with the convertible, and then the windows go all the way up. But that didn't happen, so I had to then put the windows up here with the normal window levers, the last step. That's a little bit complicated, I think. Also, another drawback of the Targa roof is you have to be standing still to operate this heavy glass roof, of course. With a convertible, of course, you can then just drive up to 50 kilometers an hour, and that's definitely way easier. So we got some nice corners ahead still, and this car has such a precise steering. This is, to me, the best about this vehicle, definitely. Sound is quite nice also, but the sound has never been like the strength of the 911. These flat engines, they are pretty reliable, but they are not like best sounding or so. So it hasn't been like a roaring Focus or so. Here at slower speeds, of course, you don't feel any wind resistance difference between the Targa and the convertible. This will more be applied to higher speed, but we can also test that. And again, this new wind deflector here, I can really feel that here. Even at slower speeds, you feel how the wind affects that. So this is definitely a very interesting thing. And when we drive a little bit faster, then we can also put it in this second position we shown you earlier to see what the difference is there, actually. So really looking forward to that. So we're also going to a road where we can drive a little bit faster. And the suspension here is of course set on a very sporty note. So it's always that you feel when there's some bumps in the road, yeah, it can get really, really rough. However then, when it's plain, then you have the great sporty feeling. So yeah, it's always the question then what you need, what you want, and so on. Just have to be aware of that. Comfort-wise, you can get it a little bit better if you stick with the smaller wheels, for example. So that would be maybe an advice to stick then with the non-S model. The non-S model also has definitely way than enough power. So we'll just turn around here, see also how the car can be handled, turning circle-wise and so on. Steering is not too hard. Then there's the rear view camera. The resolution could be a little bit better, right? Yeah, Jonas agrees. So for such a very expensive vehicle, resolution should be better from the rear view camera. And by the way, we can also then start it from zero. There's no one around here, and just a Sport Plus. And the interesting thing is here, like this. That was 0 to 60 kilometers, just like instantaneously. Not allowed to drive faster, even though it wouldn't hurt anyone. Of course, we always stick to the rules. There was a launch control. Just put it to like Sports Plus mode, hit the brakes, hit the throttle, got the launch control running. So here with the Porsche, it's probably the easiest thing to do a launch control. Yeah, a lot of fun, of course. Always think about your passengers. Jonas really he has like iron stomach Jonas, sometimes I call him that way, because I mean we've been like to so many racetracks all over the world, and he's like going, oh, okay, it's quite fun. When I would be like in his position, I was like whoa, whoa, all over the place. So yeah, that's up to Jonas for enduring that. Now 50 kilometers now to 100. Let's see. Alan. Safety first, motorcyclist. Now. Plop, that's it. Wow, such a good acceleration. And now we feel the Targa disadvantage. 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour, and it's really loud in here. A lot of wind noise. You can probably also pick it up on the microphone. And this is not like such a high speed, The car convertible would handle it better. Now, let's check out this new deflector. Okay, so, I mean, I'm not sure if you can pick that up on camera microphone, but it is louder now from this deflector. in the front on the one hand, but the wind turbulence above the head, let's see again, changing. Interesting. So what it does change is, without like in a lower position, you have like this more wobbling sound. There's like a bigger wind turbulence, and then when you put it actually then to the other stage, to the higher stage, this is reduced, but then you have like a more, I would call it a high frequent wind sound from the upper part. And close top acceleration, let's put to Sports Plus, hey, and then 50 kilometers an hour to 100, let's go. It wasn't even shifting. Yeah. Okay, you know, I really love the 718, and I would prefer it over the 911. This is something where the bigger engine definitely plays a role, but you know, the 718 also available again with the bigger engine. But I mean, yeah, situations like these, the additional horsepower, of course, definitely helps. So Sport Plus mode here, by the way, also shifting down with this throttle blip, really cool. Double clutching here now in the next roundabout. This is a lot of fun, you know, just some roundabouts, and you still have a lot of fun then just in your everyday driving life. And now to our conclusion for today with the new Porsche 911 Targa. From the exterior, you can actually say it's one of the most beautiful 911s, if not the most beautiful. I also think it works very well with the contrasting Targa bar, especially when you have a color like this. And of course, the 911 always with this very, you know, wrapped tight design has been the same case throughout the ages. The Targa definitely is a great design object, and also showing, for example, with very good residual values. From the interior styling is also a very, you know, sporty one with the instrument view, yeah, a little bit blocked, you know, some flaw as for that. Then of course a lot of animal skin use here too, just barely some alternatives there in the model lineup, so that's better with the 718 or with the Taycan actually. The comfort is also not the best. It is more a GT car, but for a GT car, I think it should also be a little bit more comfortable seating position-wise. The suspension, especially when you pick the 20-inch wheels front, 21-inch wheels rear, which is standard for the S model, is still a little bit stiff, so it is definitely more a sports car. Although you might expect more comfort in comparison, for example, to the 718, the suspension really tells you, give me a good road, and then I give you a lot of driving fun. And not the best comfort. Well, and it is actually a lot about the performance still. The engine, no doubt, you always have a lot of performance. It's always there, no matter at which speed. And of course, the very crisp and precise steering. This is so much fun with the 911. And they could increase this sportiness here even further with this new generation. Of course, also the rear axle steering helps. Also the PDCC, for example, the anti-roll control. So especially the rear axle steering makes the car feel even a little bit smaller, better in a turning circle, so it's easy to ease the car around actually. Talking about the Targa and the wind features, if you decide between a Targa and a convertible, do yourself a favor and pick the convertible, because when you're open top driver, you will have more fun with the convertible. They did increase it here a little bit, you know, with this new small wind deflector. This is reducing this low frequency wind noises and more puts them to high frequency wind noises in the front. This does improve a little bit, but still the convertible will have the big advantage. So, open top driver, get the convertible. This is more if you decide between the coupe and the Targa and just find the Targa more beautiful. Yeah, fuel economy wise, by the way, I could drop it down to about 11 liters on 1 kilometer, so that's a little bit more than 20 mpg then, and like 25 mpg for the UK figures mpg. So yeah, should also be a little bit lower actually. Still, very interesting impressions here. We also tried to mix it up a little bit, open and close driving in the driving part. I think we have a lot of fun today, together with this beautiful design object. Comes with a catch, but also comes with a lot of emotion. That's, what Targa has always been, like you see it here. Which one would you take home? This or this? Yeah, this actually should be half the price approximately, as it is here right now, as the 4S, at least 145k, and with some more extras, 160, 170,000 euros. Yeah, that's what you have to pay for the new one. What do you think? Please leave us your feedback in the comments. Let's discuss the 911 Targa. Please also tune into other episodes. We have different 911 episodes, Coupe, Convertible, 911 Turbo S. We see you there, or next time in our full review. Bye and thank you.